blazer was made in 1997. In the UK, if I wanted to sell it, I could list it on Vinted, Depop, or eBay. In Lebanon, however, we don't have suitable platforms. So instead, people resort to creating Instagram pages, where they have to post their items, spend their days replying to DMs, and then have to manage delivery all by themselves. Our customer research shows us that buyers and sellers are tired of Instagram's limitations. It's inefficient, time-consuming, and discourages people from buying or selling at all. That's why, with my background in marketing and my partner's expertise in software development, we created Archif, an online marketplace dedicated to buying and selling secondhand goods, with built-in features to search, filter, and check out. The word Archif comes from the Arabic word archive, because we believe that secondhand items hold unique value, because each piece tells a story. Just like this very blazer I'm wearing tonight, which belonged to my late grandfather and still has his name sewn into the pocket. There are competitors in this space. Dubizzle, which is like eBay, but you wouldn't sell your shirt on the same platform you would sell a car, and Snatch, which operates similarly to Archif, but without curation. What sets us apart is our focus on curated, vintage, high-quality items. We require sellers and their items to go through an approval process, which ensures high-quality listings and images. The secondhand apparel market in the Middle East and Africa is valued at $3.3 billion by 2032. In Lebanon, this market is growing rapidly but still remains largely overlooked, which leaves huge potential for a platform like Archif. We view Lebanon as our launch pad, with the potential to scale and replicate this model across the Middle East and Africa. Our business model is simple. We take a 10% commission on every transaction. We've already started validating our idea and developing our MVP. We've engaged with 4 established sellers that have agreed to be a part of the platform with an initial lineup of 50 unique items. Over the next 5 months, we plan to onboard them, leveraging their existing audiences while driving growth through social media marketing. By promoting secondhand fashion, we're reducing waste and contributing to a circular economy. We're also really excited about launching our charitable arm in the near future. That's why today we're asking for £3,000 to help us complete phase 1 of our path to integration, which includes our MVP and marketing efforts. With Archif, we're not just creating a marketplace. We're creating a movement to make secondhand your first choice. A movement that starts in Lebanon, but doesn't end there. Join us in bringing this vision to life, one story at a time. Thank you.
Love that. Ayman, I promise I would come to you first.
Thank you very much. And I won't ask the question I was going to ask the other guys, but that would be a bit unfair. And well done for bringing your support group behind you there. And just, and by the way, the story, personal touch, one of them. Yeah, that's really, really valuable, a great example to people as to what you do there. So you're talking about Lebanon, and then talking about other countries. Why doesn't this exist in Lebanon today?
I would say there's a multitude of issues. I would say with big companies like Vinted or Depop, they're not looking to enter a Lebanese market because there's issues of stigma, it's still a cash economy fairly, and we would say it's maybe a bit unstable, as you may know. So that's why with me, I kind of see that as a benefit, that there aren't those competitors there, and that's why we're ready to take the market and test there. And so those similarities that we see in Lebanon, like stigma or cash economy, they're present in other countries in the Middle East and West Africa. That's why for us, Lebanon is a test market, and it's a perfect test market because you're able to grow and combat those challenges without having these big companies working as competitors from the beginning.
Okay, and how well developed is the logistics, the third-party delivery structure in Lebanon today?
So we're working with a third-party logistics partner in Lebanon that's been around for over a decade. And so what happens is once an order is placed through Archif, the delivery then goes through them. So they take it obviously from the buyer to the seller, and we take our 10% commission in the process and then send the funds back to the seller. So I would say in terms of delivery or logistics, we're top. Like we have Uber in Lebanon, except that Uber is in cash. So those exist, but the model is just slightly different.
Okay, thank you.
Who wants to go next? Burning questions?
Hi. Very, very cool story. And I love the blazer. I don't know much about, the markets that you're talking about. Tell me why these markets are ready for Archif.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a perfect question because I really believe that timing is everything. Like if we just look at Skype versus Zoom when COVID hit, it was right place, right time, and I think timing is really important. So we're seeing secondhand markets are growing at a huge rate. Like just if we look at London, for example, and we're seeing nearby countries as well, like it's expanding in places like Dubai and Jordan. And so that's why I feel we're really at a good time where these secondhand markets are gonna start catching up in lower income countries, like Lebanon, for example. And once we break, I guess, the barrier of like stigma or cash, then these things are gonna take off really fast. And so we wanna be there at the precipice before these platforms take off, because we see that just like following the general trends in the West, for example, that is about to hit soon. So that's why we wanna be there before it takes off, to start creating that mindset change and targeting those challenges that we anticipate.
And in terms of like the culture within Lebanon, for example, how do you anticipate, what is the percentage of the population that you're aiming this to be like used by? If you can.
Yeah, of course. So our target audience is Gen Z, eco-conscious consumers, or people who already shop vintage. So we're not necessarily targeting someone whose minds we're going to change, but people who are already open to the idea. So people who are already buying from these existing sellers that we're targeting, people like Gen Z, etc. One interesting way that we plan on targeting that is with our charitable arm, which is like our charity shop initiative. So that was inspired by charity shops in the UK. So we don't have those in Lebanon. So our way to combat that is by creating online charity shops on Archif, where people, for example, high-income individuals in Lebanon, for example, they wouldn't think to sell their items because they think, I don't need the money or it's gonna make me look bad. The fact that our platform is anonymous already is a huge, takes away that barrier because you don't know who that person is. Other than, let's say, reviews, you don't know their personal identity. But with the charity shop, at least those high-net individuals can feel they're donating to charity, whereas otherwise they wouldn't sell those items. So they're able to list it on this online charity shop, as we say. So we're able to still even reach those high-net individuals that typically wouldn't be in our target audience using this marketing strategy, as I would call it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very well delivered.
Thank you.
Have you thought about like the taking items across international borders and
Yes.
supplying like different markets with different items,
For
because
sure.
there'll be different pricing levels demanded from different markets?
Yeah, exactly. And so we're not necessarily pricing by geography, it's more on the quality of the item. And so that's another thing that makes us different as Archif. We're focusing on local and especially Arab designers. So people in the diaspora or people who are interested in fashion abroad could also buy those items from Archif. So that opens a whole new market, a global market that would be interested in the products that we have in Lebanon, the Middle East, or West Africa. Those markets have been previously overlooked, would now open a huge possibilities for those items.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, well done.